guys, I had a few of you asking me about endometriosis and PCOS, and so I thought I would do a series of small videos to tell you my story and what I have done to try and reduce the pain and reduce my symptoms. Okay, so I'm going to start off by saying that I have never, until this year, never spoke out about endometriosis or PCOS. I don't know why. I think I preferred to keep it to myself. I also didn't want people feeling sorry for me or feeling bad for me, and I wanted to be strong within myself, so I never spoke out about it. But that changed when I realized that there were so many other people suffering the same things that I was going through, and it was just really nice to try and share with everybody else what they are doing to try and help the symptoms and pain. So in my next few videos I'm going to be sharing my story. For those of you who don't know, and I'm just reading off my Google because I can explain it but mine would be long-winded. Endometriosis is a disorder in which the tissue that normally lines the uterus grows outside of the uterus. So from my understanding is that when you have a period, the blood forms outside of the uterus, which creates a scar. Side note, when I talk about my pain, I don't really let people know how sore it is, but mainly it's mostly every day. It's like, for girls, it's like a really intense period pain, or it's sharp pains. It feels like something's tearing my stomach or my later parts. Feels like that's a tear, or it comes in waves, and there's been times where I've been on the floor just sore but refusing to take the medication, which would help me, but I think in the long term. Okay, so really quickly, what I had when I was 18 years old, I went in for surgery. It was just meant to be a short one, and I came out 2.5 hours later, having my bladder being a lot higher than it should have been, stuck together with scar tissue. I ended up losing one fallopian tube to scar tissue, and they found a lot of the endometriosis, and the surgeon had ended up saying it was the worst case that he'd seen in Dunedin from where I was from. Most of my pain came after the surgery. That was when all my nerve endings were damaged, and that's when I came onto lots of some hard medication like gabapentin, like amitriptyline, tramadol, things like that. My memory of when I realised that I needed to stop taking them was I walked into a very important exam, and I came out and I said to my mum, I've got no clue what just happened, and I needed those points to pass, and I couldn't recall the exam at all. And I came out and I said, I don't want to feel like that anymore. So I then had to decide what I wanted. So with all the medication, there was so many side effects, which were things like being so tired, being really dizzy, feeling nauseous, stacking on the weight. The weight thing was a massive problem for me. I became very, very unhappy in myself, and I knew I was eating. I tried going gluten-free, I tried FODMAPs, I knew I was eating good food, but I think I was eating too much, and I think my hormones were so out of whack that my body just held on to sugar and fat the most. So this leads me to what I did to try and get myself back. Now, I'm not going to lie, it's been a massive journey. So I was diagnosed when I was 18 years old. I'm now 26. It's taken me a long time to get here. It has taken me a lot of time to realise why I put on the weight and how I can fix it. I wasn't helping myself. I'm not going to blame my entire weight gain on my condition. It was partly my fault and eating things that I probably shouldn't have. But here is what I did that helped me. I had a massive team of people who helped me and who were behind me and helped me get to this point. So I went and spoke to a naturopath from Dunedin, a nutritionist. I had lots of personal trainers that helped me. My gynecologist was amazing, and then most recently my CrossFit gym that I joined at the beginning of this year, and I can't thank those people enough who have all helped me get to the point that I am today and who are still helping. So I started off, it's a long journey. I had to cut out lots of food and stuff in the beginning, so it wasn't enjoyable. I went on FODMAP diet. So if you look online, you can see what that consists of, but mainly I had to cut gluten, dairy, refined sugars. I had to cut apples, I had to cut dates, pears. So for, I think it was a month, I was eating not fun things. And then you had to slowly build them back in. So from that, I realized that apples, pears, dates, gluten, dairy all made my stomach really gassy, bloated, nauseous. So the next thing I did was I found Les Mills, and I found a love for group fitness, and that made me so happy to be on stage and teaching dance, which is my passion. Teaching and dancing are my passions, and putting that together really made me happy. And then I found when I was happy, I tended to less, I was able to get over my pain a bit more. The happier I became, the easier it was to eat clean, and the easier it was to exercise, and the easier it was to manage my pain. Les Mills and Body Jam and Shabam have been a massive part of the last few years of my life. It's really been the turning point. That, with all my other people who have helped me on my journey, it's been a massive turning point for me, because I'm just so happy when I'm on that stage and I'm teaching dance to people. I love it, and I feel like when you find something that you really like and you really love, it makes other things in your life a little bit easier to bear. I also noticed, so I had been diagnosed with endometriosis and irritable bowel syndrome, which is when certain things that you eat make you either poop too much, not poop, bloat you, make you fart, things like that. Then I started to get a very hairy face. My skin broke out, and they found a 3-centimetre cyst on my ovary. Then came Polycystic Ovary Syndrome. Polycystic Ovary Syndrome, cysts on the ovaries, facial hair, irregular periods, difficulty getting pregnant is due to androgen, so more male hormones in females. There's one other thing I have to talk to you about, which is the HPV virus. Great fun. Ladies, always get a pap smear. Yep, it's worth it. I got a pap smear, came back with irregular cells, and it turned out I have the HPV virus. So there are 3 stages, CN1, CN2, CN3. The bad thing is that if you hit CIN3 or higher, you're more likely to get cancer, develops into cancer. So I was sitting at CIN2. So many biopsies I've had. Apparently you can, I've heard there's an awesome YouTuber, I don't know her name, but Sarah's Day says that she had CIN3, which is higher grade than mine, and she managed to bring it down with clean eating and exercise. And I thought, hell yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna beat this. Right, so to cap things off, I'm a massive believer in clean eating and exercise as helping my conditions from endometriosis, polycystic ovary, IBS, and the HPV. I have got a lot going on in my body, especially my lady parts. It's stressful at times. Sometimes I will admit that I sit in a corner and cry, but then I think about all the people that have helped me. My sister has been amazing, and I think that I don't need to go back to medication. I can beat this, I can do it. All it needs is willpower, and for me to make myself happy. I really don't want to let it bring me down, and I want to, and that's part of why I want to share the stories. I want to try and help all you other girls, because I know how it feels to be in pain and to be unhappy and to think that you have to live with this, because we do, and that's the sad reality of life, is that we have to live with it, but we can beat. I thank you guys so much for listening. If you liked this, please give it a lovely love heart, double tap. If you got any questions, please DM me, PM me. Either of the two can try and help you. Just remember, I'm not a medical professional. It's not Doctors with Pettiboo 14 101. I do highly suggest talking to a medical professional, a naturopath, a doctor, a gynecologist, a nutritionist if you've got any of these symptoms.